Hi everyone, I'm here with your 612 lesson, What Does It Mean to Divide Fractions as Division Problems. By now you are probably very good at working with basic division problems. For example, you can easily find how many teams of 3 students could be formed from a class of 36 students. You can probably calculate quickly how many eggs would be in each carton if 24 eggs were divided evenly into 2 cartons. Most likely, you have also learned how to do more complicated division calculations such as 208 divided by 16 or 346 in 76 hundredths divided by 10 and 25 hundredths, using methods like long division. How are division problems like these related to dividing pieces of licorice evenly among several people? Can your methods and thinking in one situation be used to find solutions in another situations? Think about the focus questions below as you work with your team on the problems in this lesson. What does this represent? What does this connect to what we already know how to do? And how can we apply this strategy? So looking at problem 615, when dividing licorice among her teammates, one of the students in Miss Yu's class exclaimed, "Whoa, we divided 7 pieces of licorice among 5 people, and each person got 1 whole piece and 2 fifths of another. That's 7 fifths of a whole. Is this just a coincidence? What do you think? Does this make sense that the answer to 7 divided by 5 is 7 fifths?" Mrs. Yu's students decided to explore the question using smaller numbers and asked, what if 4 pieces of licorice were shared among 3 people? Work with your team to make sense of the diagrams. Did each team get the same answer? How was each team thinking about dividing the licorice? Be prepared to share your ideas with the whole class. So what you're going to do when I'm done talking is you're going to pause the video and answer question 615. You're going to specifically talk about Team A's diagram, Team B's diagram, and Team C's diagram. Take that back. You're going to focus on Team A's diagram and Team B's diagram. Disregard Team C's diagram. Okay, if you're back with me, then you have answered this. So let's take a look at Team A. So according to Team A's diagram, they're saying that each person gets a whole piece of a licorice. That's why 1 whole licorice is circled with an arrow. And they also get 1/3 of another piece of licorice. So they split it into thirds because there were 4 people. So 1, 2, 3, they each get 1. And the third one, so 3 people each get 1, and then the third one was split into thirds the fourth one was split into thirds because that's how many people they have left in their team. They have 3. So we need to split that 4th piece into thirds. Each team then gets 1/3 of that piece. So Team A, each member gets a whole piece and 1/3 of another piece. Team B. This is showing us that Team B split each piece of licorice into thirds because there are 3 people on their team. So if each licorice is split into thirds, that means each team member is getting 1/3 of each piece. So in total, each person gets 4 pieces that are 1/3 long. Okay, we're going to move on to question 619. says Layla was thinking about the connections between division and fractions and said to his team, division problems often result in fractions. Since all the fractions represent division, I think we can write all division problems as fractions. Explore Layla's idea by answering the questions below. With your team, discuss how you could use Layla's idea to write 7 divided by 7/20 as a division problem. Then use long division to find the decimal that results from the division problem you wrote. Express your answer as both a decimal and a fraction. So I'm going to help you get started here. So if we have 7 divided by 7/20, that's the same thing as saying 7 divided by 20. Okay, so now you need to do long division and figure this out. So we're going to start by 20 okay? 7 divided by 20. And then you're going to answer problem A. If we look at part B, it says follow the directions below to write each of the following as fractions of decimals. First, estimate the size of each number by making its placement on the number line. You do not need to do this. Write the division problem that the fraction could represent, then use long division to find the decimal representation. How close were your estimates? So you don't have to do the part about your estimates, but you do need to write this as a division problem, and then you need to solve using long division. Okay, this is a problem that we're going to save to go over in class. So again, you need to finish 619 parts A and B with my modified directions, and we will go over these in class. If you have any questions, please email me.